Yo, welcome to another incredible Turn Up Tuesday. What is going on, y'all? The first Turn Up Tuesday of 2021, and it is about to go down. So we're about to get so real. I'm so excited. And what I do understand is welcome to Turn Up Tuesday. My name is Marcus. Welcome back, and we at it again. It's time to get it. Let's go. Let's grow. The crazy part is Turn Up Tuesday is not for everybody. I might share a message that resonates with you. I might share a message that triggers you. Whatever it is, you are 100% welcome. I'm going to give you my light, my love from my heart. If it's for you, it's for you. Treat it like a buffet. Take what you want, leave what you don't. Let's get better together. Let's grow because it is time to unleash the beast. And just share a word that is on my heart because today's Turn Up Tuesday is about disconnecting from the toxicity. Right? Sometimes the toxic person that I'm referring to is you disconnecting from you, right? Sometimes you got to let the old version of you pass away, be gone, disappear forever, let it die. Sometimes people are literally sitting on the fence of their own lives throughout the year, waiting for December 31st, which is my birthday, right? So that at midnight, everything is anew, everything, you got a clean slate. But what happens is, if you stay awake, that same person that transitioned from 2020 went into 2021. So if you don't make intentional effort and attention to killing off the old version of you that's not serving you any longer, you're the same person, right? You are the exact same person unless you intentionally kill off the versions of you that no longer serve you. And sometimes it's hard to admit. It takes a little bit of humility. It takes a lot of humility and a lot of ego being put to rest to realize that you're at fault for a lot of the things that are happening in your life, right? You've accepted. So we go, I can't believe this person treated me this way. I can't believe. Listen, if somebody treats you a way that's out of alignment than what you're used to or what you're in love with and what you accept, it's because you accepted that treatment. When you set a standard in your life and you're like, yo, listen, if you go to apply and to buy a Bentley and you don't have the money and they're like, listen, we'll do the financing, but you don't have the credit score, you don't have the bank account, you don't have the savings account, you don't have all of the credentials needed, they're not going to be like, here, let's work with you a little bit. Let's see what we can do. They're going to be like, sorry, come back when you can. But what we have a tendency to do with the people in our life is they don't have the credit worthy of our time and attention and the gifts that we're bestowing upon people. And yet let me work with you a little bit. You might just need me to build you up when they won't build themselves up and they end up dragging you down. So then we are like, oh my God, I can't believe I gave so much. I did so much. That might have been your insecurity of not wanting to be alone, enabling somebody that doesn't deserve that energy to be held on to so tightly, because then otherwise you're faced with being alone by yourself. And it is the toughest time to look in the mirror and recognize that you are sabotaging you. Whoo! Listen, and I'm only speaking from this space because I'm living this, y'all. Like I'm coming into a realization that the things that haven't served me in my life, the things that have held me back from that next level of greatness, when it's time for Marcus 2.0 or 2.1 to roll out, right? Like that 2021 version of Marcus, it's time for him to surface. I lean back on my old understandings. Why? Because it's uncomfortable. The transition from who you were to who you desire to be, who God created you to be, that's not easy, right? To see it clear, right? Like when God gives you a vision, he's like, yo, I want this on your heart. I want this to be the next version. And you're like, oh, dang, I see it now. But the work to now step into that's the hard part, because old habits reach out, right? Old exes start to reach out. Old friends that didn't deserve you. And now they're like, yo, I want to build a bridge and I want to fix these things that went wrong. I miss you in my life, right? Yo, you know the holidays pop up. How you doing? Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. I miss you. I hope things are going well, right? That same old person is just seeing that they still got access to the new you that's in development. And what we have a tendency to do, and I'm speaking for myself. So when I say we, I'm speaking about me, because I also know friends that align with this. And if it doesn't align with you, I'm not talking to you. So don't get in your feelings, right? But the reality is all of a sudden, the construction we were doing and the development of who we're becoming, we stop working on ourselves to now worry about the person that has now come in and disrupted our frequency. And these are usually people that have already shown us their true colors. We already know what you bring to the table. And yet I stopped building what I'm building because what attracted you back into my life is the work that I'm doing on my life to become the next version of myself. I became more attractive because you knew that I was going to glow and grow without you. So when I start to grow and start to bloom and start to blossom and you see my light start to shine, all of a sudden I start to attract the flies that I thought I swatted a long time ago. And then we stop our growth process, now trying to pay attention to people that were in our last chapter to drag them into our next. So when we're really in this growth phase, right, just get ready because people are going to surface. And it doesn't have to be a relationship. It could be a friendship. It could be family. And I'm sharing this again because in my experiences, especially in the fourth quarter of 2020, I saw some things and I also experienced some things. I got family that in 2021, I was like, yeah, I'm not bringing you into my new year because my new year requires new growth and a new me, and a new me can't be coming back for you. I'll leave breadcrumbs to show you the trail that I took, the healing that I had to put into place, and the work that I had to do on myself. But if that's not for you, it's not for you. I'm not going to beg you to grow. So in your growth phase, just get ready because people are coming for you as well. And I had a great conversation with a friend and, she's been on her nutrition plan and she's working on her mindset and she's been going through hell behind the scenes. Like the family has been in just pure chaos and she's the foundation. She's the glue. She's doing her best to hold it together. And she's like, man, as hard as I'm working on myself and still loving on others, I got haters, Marcus. Like where the hell they come from? I said, they always been there. They were just waiting for that moment of discouragement to fall on your heart when you thought it was the devil, when it was really you starting to speak negatively to you. When you're like, man, I'm really lonely. I wish somebody was here with me. I wish somebody would build with me. I wish somebody would grow with me. I wish I had more friends that would support my business and my this and my that. I wish. When those doubts start to creep in, that's when that person surfaces for a reason. Why? Because you're at your weakest. And this is the test. When you're at your lowest point and you're at your weakest, do you give in to the things that don't serve you, right? Like, hey, and the only way I could explain it, and we'll get back on the topic of haters, but this is it. Like, when you get through something really grueling, like if you've ever been on one of those ridiculous hikes, I don't even like hiking, but it's only something that I know that it equates to like a really intense workout, right? Like, or you go through like a really dirty experience, whether it be through mud or dirt or, in Arizona, we get dust storms and stuff like that, right? Like you go walking through these dirty places or you get a great workout in and you're super sweaty, like one of those disgusting workouts where you're like dripping sweat. You get home and you shower. How good does that shower feel? It's so refreshing. It's like, even if you're not going right to bed, like it's just refreshing to wash off the hard work. But you know that what you're cleaning off is you sweating out the toxins and the things that didn't serve your body is now cleansed and it's renewed. So you come out that shower feeling refreshed. You don't go put on those same dirty ass clothes. And that's how I look at these relationships, right? Like, and not just intimate relationships. I'm talking about toxic ass friends. There are people in your circle that don't have your back. And we cater to them like, man, I know if I post this, I'm going to make so-and-so feel, they're going to DM me right away. You know why they only DM you and they don't speak out loud in public? Because they know that they can talk to you behind closed doors and disrupt your frequency to bring you back to the level that doesn't make them uncomfortable. But it's time where you get to set the world on fire with your passion. Make people uncomfortable with your truth. Because some people that have been riding with you ain't even for you. But we cater to them. And we're like, man, I know if I post this. Yo, ladies, if you're putting in that work and you got a great results and you're working on your body, but you also have a mindset where you're loving yourself through it. You're not just showing your ass. You just know that you put in the work to earn what you got. Because listen, people who bought what you working for, they don't mind showing it off. So if you're working for it, then show it off, but show it off with class, right? I earned this body. I worked for it. Why? Because it took discipline. It took those late nights when I go to my fridge and instead of grabbing cookies and ice cream and things like that, even when I'm sad, I decide to grab an apple or a milk or Herbalife shake and I take my ass to bed. I drink some water and I discipline myself. You earn that. Why? Because you did the work that they're unwilling to do. So when you post it and it makes them uncomfortable and they jump in your DMs, be willing to hush some people up. Maybe they didn't watch Bambi growing up. Bambi was a movie that, like, listen, Bambi's mother, not Bambi's mother, Thumper. And I hope y'all remember Thumper, the little rabbit. If you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all. This is a simple philosophy that flies over so many people's head. Listen, I'm super amped. I just had my tea, so I'm live right now. And I'm excited for this new year. And this is going to be me 365 days this year. Well, 360 because we're already 5 days in. But the reality is that there are people close to you that know that they can disrupt your frequency. Why? Because it makes them uncomfortable to see you growing. Why? Because they're not. And so instead of growing with you, they'd rather pull you back into the ish. So those people who are trying to drag you on the streets, listen, I don't care how you feel about it. COVID is real right now. But there are people who are turned up, distracted, unwilling to face their reality. Listen, quarantine was a beautiful thing for me. Why? Because it allowed me to face me and also recognize that there are some toxic ass things about me that are why I haven't attracted the relationship to lay the foundation for a fiance and a marriage so that I could be the father and the husband that I've always aspired to be. There were some things about me that I had to heal, but no, we don't want to talk about that. We always want to blame somebody else. There's a reason my last relationships didn't work out. And it's not them, it's Marcus. I get to be the common denominator. Why? Because I can't fix anyone else if I don't fix me. Once I fix me, I attract better. Once you fix your credit score, you apply for a different car, you get a different interest rate. But everybody wants to blame the dealership or the prices going up on vehicles. No, it's not the price going up on vehicles. You haven't increased your value yet. So how do we get to look at ourselves differently? And again, if I say something that upsets you, you're welcome. You don't got to kick it with me. I'm growing and growing no matter what I do. But I'm also realizing that I get to ruffle some feathers in the process because I started to water myself down because it made people around me uncomfortable. And I can tell you wholeheartedly, I just had a situation where someone who I considered to be in my immediate circle started talking about me in a way that was outside of my character. And this is when I knew that I was evolving because it didn't trigger me the same way. But the people that they were talking to came to me and they were like, yo, MJ, I just want to give you a heads up. This is what I'm being told. This is the things that I'm being told about you. And I'm like, yo, that's hella accurate. But the actual definition of my character is out of alignment. And they're like, no, that's why I'm telling you, just so you know. And I knew in that moment that I was doing something right when people weren't coming to gossip to me. They were just giving me a heads up. But they were like, yo, this is what we heard. But yo, it's fake news. And I was like, yes, like God, you are working on me in ways that I never thought possible. The old me would have been, and this was the test. So when I talk about toxic traits, my toxic trait was like, yo, I'm about to fire this person up. And then the mature trait in me said, bro, I brought you too far for you to go back to the old you and validate what they think about you. This was a test. And this one time, and so this is the other side of it, guys, and I just posted this earlier. Once you get tested and you pass the test, it's like second grade. And for those of us who graduated high school and went on to college, you know, even though you did well with your A's and B's and C's and the 1, 2, 3s and basic arithmetic, you passed the test in second grade. But for those of you who kept going on in school, there's a lot more tests ahead of you. So just because you pass the test doesn't mean that you're not going to get tested again. But once you pass it once, you have the confidence of knowing you can pass it again. And so this is the level of enlightenment that now gets to resonate in my mind. And so when I have those moments of doubt, I go, nah, man, I may not be 100% on track, but even if I got to crawl, I'm going to keep moving forward because I'm trying to create distance now between the toxic traits that I used to be so comfortable around. And this is why I talk about ownership. If you look around and you're like, yo, my friends are really like negative or bitter. And even if they're not, they could be a lot of fun. But sometimes the fun is a distraction to your growth because you need to step your ass out the fun so you can create what's on your heart and the purpose that's within you. Sometimes you got to look at the relationship that you're in and you go, man, it's not really going where I wanted it to go. Like this isn't laying the foundation of what I aspire to attract in my life. Man, this may not be my wife. This may not be my husband. But they're sitting in the driver's seat of the seat that's destined for somebody else. But as long as they're sitting there, that person can't take that seat. So it could be good. But is it what you're wanting? And if it is, put in the work to make it what it's supposed to be. No longer do you get to be an innocent bystander. It's not is what it is. It is what you make it. Because sometimes the toxic things that are going on in our lives are a damn lot of fun. But we don't want to talk about that. They're fun, yo. I just finished one of my favorite books, The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. And he wrote a second book called Turning Pro. But in The War of Art, he talks about resistance. And it's anything that's distracting you from your purpose. Right? Anything. I got friends that I love to death. And if they call, they be like, yo, MJ, let's slide out. I can't. Not because I don't love you, not because I don't love the time I spend with you, but I only got a limited window availability to kind of like decompress so I can turn up and do what I was built to do. I got a text message just 10 minutes before Turn Up Tuesday started from somebody that I used to be really close with, like, yo, let's go to lunch, man. You free? I just got off work, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yo, this is how disconnected to me you are. You don't even know that I live for Turn Up Tuesday. I live to give my heart and soul for free on social media because I'm speaking not only to an audience of people that I'm so grateful that you guys found the time to plug in, but I'm also speaking to myself. And so I take this time every Tuesday at noon to speak life into myself and remind myself that the work that I'm putting in is necessary and that it's valid and it's worth something, that it's a part of the worth, that the purpose that God has put on my heart. So you're so disconnected to who I've become that you don't even realize that this means more to me than spending time with you. I'd rather talk to strangers than spend time with you. Why? Because this is also my time to get grounded and realize that some of the things that God's put on my heart need to come the hell out. And it's not because I love you any less. I just love me so much more. And I'm sorry if you don't understand. But like Demi Lovato said, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I have something greater on my heart, and I've played small long enough. I put myself on the back burner long enough. I made accommodations for people that don't make accommodations for me long enough. I've been toxic to myself, and it's not even your toxicity because listen, everybody sitting on this line right now, you know you have an intuition that tells you, yo, this isn't for me. I'm not supposed to be here. You ever been to a house party and been like, I'm not even supposed to be here, but I'm here to support so-and-so. If that person really rides with you, hey, yo, I gotta go. And they be like, all right, bet. I'll catch up with you later, or I'm riding with you. Let's go. We ain't supposed to be here. That's when you know it's alignment, when you can listen to your intuition and you can be unapologetically yourself. And you don't have to make accommodations because my people know if we go somewhere and I'm not supposed to be there, hey, y'all, I love y'all to death. I'm going to be out. I'm going to break out. And they don't question it. They don't take it personal. They don't now think it's a personal attack like, oh, Marcus don't really rock with me no more, blah, 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 blah. I make up all these stories that now they think that I'm going to apologize for. There ain't no way in hell I'm apologizing for being me and being true to who I am. Because if you really rock with me, you know how I get down. And I'm not about to stay someplace that I can't be the true version of myself, that my vibration has to lower to be in an environment that doesn't serve me. No, because now there's somebody that could have been in that environment that if I showed up in my truth because I was in alignment with what I'm supposed to be, I might have touched their heart in a way that they would have got a word that could have changed their life forever. That's what I'm here for. So I'm sorry, I'm not sorry, but I gotta go. And I'm willing to leave people behind because I'm always gonna leave a trail of breadcrumbs so you can always, I'm easy to find. I haven't changed my number since my sophomore year of high school. So if you ever really needed me, you know who to call. And if you don't know how to get in touch with me, that's on you because you never really tried to. So I'm just sharing with y'all like an understanding that there's another level of perspective that comes with toxicity. Toxicity is not external because we love to blame everybody else. We love to point the finger like, oh man, if so-and-so wouldn't have done this or so-and-so didn't do that. What did you do to make accommodations for that toxicity to reside around you? This is who we get to become. This is a brand new year, y'all. Like, this is our time to shed away the old layers, to step into our truth and become the version of you that you've been afraid to step into. And if it makes you scared, it's supposed to. If it makes you uncomfortable, it's supposed to. If you got to walk away from a job or a relationship or a friendship, if you got to walk away from the old you that's still telling you lies, like you're not pretty enough, you're not smart enough, you're not talented enough, there are an abundance of resources to open up any door that you need. If you got to get in shape, you can find it anywhere. Hell, everybody and their mama's an online trainer now every day, right? Gyms are back open somewhere in some places. And if they're not, take your ass to the park, go do some squats and some burpees and some crunches and start eating healthier. Grocery stores are still feeling you. It's 80% nutrition. So if you need to get your body right, then sit your ass down, stop making excuses. Oreos don't love you. Krispy Kreme don't love you. Bosa don't love you. Chick-fil-A don't love you. I used to think that was the healthier version. So if there's a version of you that's like, man, it's time for me to get in shape and take my health seriously. Listen, if COVID taught us anything, it is time to take your health, your nutrition, and your mindset seriously. Because financially, all the things that don't really matter seem to preoccupy our priorities. Oh, I got to worry. I got to make sure I get to work on time and this, that, and the other. A job that you value more than it values you doesn't make sense. Oh, but I got to go get this new whip. Da, 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 da. You getting a whip to impress friends that talk about you behind your back. But we don't lay the foundation and work on the things that are actually meant for us. So if you got to get your finances in order, yo, do the hard work. Pull up that app that you're avoiding. Yo, we stay on Instagram. We stay on Snapchat. I can't even stand Clubhouse right now. I may get a vibe for it, but it's just a bunch of talking. And I'm like, yo, what are we talking about? And some people may say, and listen, you may be sitting here and be like, yo, I love Clubhouse. MJ, I'm on your Turn Up Tuesday and you just talking. So be it. Kick rocks. Love you to death, right? But the reality is that we give so much attention to things that aren't serving us. And now it's time to go, yo, how can I serve myself? Because I want to attract better. I want a higher caliber of friendship. And how do I do that? I love me so that now I can be a more concentrated dose of friend with the people that I keep in my life. You don't have to show up a certain type of way. And this, I got to share this with you because I had this conversation with someone, and this is around communication because, and this was a young lady who was like, yo, I'm really feeling you, blah, 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 blah. And we're in conversation, and I'm giving you guys real life example. And if it resonates with you, dope. If it doesn't, dope, right? But we're having conversation, and I realize that if we're truly like in this space and we're trying to get to know each other, right? As we're having conversation, I happen to be working on some things. She was working on some things, but we were texting. And then for whatever reason, the text conversation just stopped. Not hey, I got to get to a meeting. I got to go do something, blah, 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 blah. Like nothing. It was just cold, just gone, goodbye. Like I ask you a question, you respond in 1 second, next second didn't. And this is it. Like I've also come to the understanding, like this is not an instant gratification situation. This isn't life. Like I know technology and text messages and phones may allow us to believe that people owe us an immediate response. That's not it. So conversation ends. The next day, she hits me up and she's like, hey, what's going on? I'm like, yo, word? Like you just dipped? And she was like, oh, I had some spiritual things that I was working through, and then I got caught up at work, And I go, hey, I just want to let you know that the standard that I'm setting in my life, and this isn't for you, I'm setting the standard in my life, that at a high level of conversation and communication, I'm going to do you the respect of being like, hey, I just got busy, I'll hit you up later, as opposed to going ghost. And she was like, you can't obligate people to do it. And I was like, hey, what you're not understanding, and I need you to listen to this. This isn't about you or anyone else. This is about me. This is how I'm going to conduct my life. Why? Because the day is going to come where I have my wife. And my wife and I are going to be on the same wavelength. It's not, hey, we got to check in just because she's going to the grocery store or because I'm going to lunch with my homeboys. Nah, we're not doing that. We're in conversation. And if we're in conversation, the expectation is that I'm going to communicate with you because a conversation is a form of communication. And so if that needs to change for whatever reason, I'm not just going to walk away and then entitle myself and say, well, it's because you can't expect me to show up a certain type of way in this world. Damn that. That's not the game I'm playing. And if that's the game you want to play, go play with somebody else because that's elementary kindergarten type ish. I'm trying to become a grown ass man that's willing to hold himself accountable so that I can have a conversation that lays the foundation that I can track my wife one day. Right? So it's another level of being willing. And again, it made her so upset. I was like, hey, this just lets me know that you're not willing to make any accommodations and understand, because if I would have just gone ghost on you, how would you have felt? She's like, well, I would have been upset. So now this is a one-sided conversation and this doesn't longer serve me. So this isn't even about you. This isn't about me. This is about understanding that I got to put myself in a position in alignment with who I choose to be, because this is the standard. Because I won't allow my own toxicity and my willingness to accept something that will eventually frustrate me to linger. And if we can't talk about it, we can't be about it. So I want you guys to understand and get this. I want you guys to understand this, and I love each and every one of you for being on here. You do not have to agree. You're just not for me. Just clear, right? So don't get in your feelings, because I've said that and somebody else was like, well, she, this, that, and that. But yo, justify and validate all you want. There's people that I think are absolutely terrible pet parents, right? Like, yo, your dog can jump up on the counter and run around and play in the food and all that. But I'm not shaming you as a parent, but I'll whip the heck out of Briscoe's behind. Not because I think he's terrible. I think he's the most incredible dog in the world. But there is just a certain standard as to which we are going to operate in life. And that is for my household, not yours. So don't get all butthurt, but if I said something that triggered you, you might want to reevaluate the perspective, because it might be for you and you just might not be in a state to understand it, because sometimes we swim in our toxicity. This is the way I am. This is how I'm is. This is who I'm growing into. And what I realized, that I was accepting things that were beneath me, that didn't serve me. And I was wondering why my energy was always off. But if I can't even communicate with you, then what are we doing? I'm now talking to my business partners in a whole new light. Why? Because I'm going to set you up for success. But I also want you to know that if you vibe with me, this is what you get, right? Like, there's going to come a day when you have your wife and your kids and whatnot. And I want them to be like, yo, Uncle MJ, that's my guy. Because I'm in this for the long haul. But you got to know what you're working with, and you get to be a part of that process. So understand that you don't have to accept things that are beneath you just because it comes from somebody else. Love them for who they are, but love yourself enough to keep going on with your life. You don't have to drag anybody with you. You don't bring on no dead weight. You have enough baggage that you are working on your own, right? Like, have you ever really sat back and like spring cleaned your place? And you'd be like, yo, where the hell did all this stuff come from? The ability to accumulate stuff is like human nature on a whole nother level. We'd be like, damn, where did I get this and why do I have it, right? So what I've noticed for myself personally is I have a tendency to do that with people as well. I'm like, damn, how I still rock with you when you keep doing this? It's not my job to shame you for it, to judge you for it, to just realize that what you do isn't in alignment with me. That's it. And I got to do what's in alignment with me so I can attract the people that are going to help me grow, right? Because this is what I've understood as well. I've had so many people in my life, friendships, relationships, attractions, non-attractions, business partners, and things that I was giving so much to, but I'm pouring into cups that have holes in them. And I'm wondering why I can't fill you up. And the whole time I'm depleting myself. But that became a toxic trait for me, where I was now reaching out to people that never reach out to me. I'm begging, I'm trying to keep you close. I just need you to know that I love you. I'm trying to hold this space for you. Like, I got your back. I got your back. Let me co-sign on this for you. Not a car, nothing else, not credit, but just life. Let me be there. If you need me, call me. I'm here for you. Just know that MJ's a loyal rock that you can lean on, but this is a rock that's rolling now. I'm a rolling stone, baby. So if you can't keep up, you're going to lean and fall on your ass. Why? Because I can't hold space for people that can't hold space for me anymore. There comes a balance that I gotta get. There's a give and take. This has to be a mutually beneficial relationship. And you don't have to give what I give. You just got to give your truth. And I know that we're in alignment because now it's a symbiotic relationship where we're empowering each other to be the best version of ourselves. And this is a safe space where I don't have to judge you. I can allow you to be the version of you that God created you to be. And we can grow better together because we're standing on our truth and no longer walking on eggshells trying to appease people that don't even love you enough to say I care about you and be there for you when you need you. Have you realized, like, let's be 100. There's a world of people that watch you struggle. They see you trying. They see you fighting. And the piece of the puzzle, the missing piece of the puzzle that you need to take your life to that next level, to unlock that next level, to step into that next blessing, to receive what God has for you financially, nutritionally, motivationally, hell, emotionally. They have the missing piece and they watch you struggle. They watch you fight day in and day out, and they keep it in their pocket and they never tell you, hey, if you just switch from A to B, you will take off in life. Why? Because they have a blessing on their heart, but they have toxicity in their eyes and they refuse to see who you're becoming. So this is why I ask you now to be clear on the toxic traits that you have, because now I stop pouring into people. Listen, if I don't hear from you, it's not because I don't love you. It's because I got to talk to the people that talk to me, because I'm going to give my light and I'm going to give my love, but I'm going to give love to people that want to receive it. I'm not begging you to stick around me. I know how dope I am. Freak out of here. I know my vibe is so unique. It will shake your foundation and it will change your life. So why would I waste that energy on people that are just like, yeah, dude, yeah, he all right. Oh, yeah, MJ do that Herbalife thing. I mean, yeah. And they got a friend who's like, yo, I've been trying to look at Herbalife. I'm trying to get in the best shape of my life. I've been looking for somebody to help pour into my mindset. And they never have my name on their tongue in a positive light that sends the referral. I got friends that don't share my stuff on social media. And listen, I don't need you to, because this light is about to turn up. I'm going to become an inferno. You can't put this out. So I'm about to catch your friends and your family, the ones that you won't refer to me. God's going to align it where they attract to me. Why? Because I'm going to end up on their doorstep one way or another, because there's a level of alignment and there's a purpose that you cannot put a shade on. Because when I become the sunlight that sets this world on fire, you're gonna be like, damn, what happened? I don't know who just came off mute, but let's go. Like, what's up, Tracy? Talk to me, right? But the reality is is that your purpose can't be diminished. All you can do is water it down for the people that you're around when you didn't know that there's another level of people that have been begging for your gifts. I was about to stop doing, and I talk about this often, I was going to stop doing Turn Up Tuesdays a long time ago until this one young lady, year 2 of Turn Up Tuesday, she was like, listen, Marcus, I know I've never liked or commented on anything, but she's like, my 12-year-old daughter, make sure that I replay your Turn Up Tuesdays. And this is when I used to record them and post them on Facebook. She's like, we play your Turn Up Tuesdays every morning. And I want you to know that your Turn Up Tuesdays helped my daughter, who was on the verge of mental depression and suicidal thoughts because she was being bullied in school. But the word that you give changed her life. And I'm telling y'all, you have no idea what your God-given purpose is. I don't know where this word is going to go, and I don't know who the hell it's for. But I'm telling y'all right now, I'm speaking to me first. And it's a reminder that I get to be who I am unapologetically because my purpose is bigger, the mission is bigger, and my drive is bigger. And I don't care if I make you uncomfortable. If it does, you're welcome. I still got friends who are talking to the old version. People are talking to the high school version of me. Oh, MJ, you remember this? No, I don't. MJ, remember when we used to do that? No, I don't. Hey, you remember when we used to kick it with so-and-so? No, I don't. Why? Because today I've already touched somebody's life in a way that I never thought possible. That when I was in high school, I was still dreaming of becoming the man that I had to do a lot of work to become. I didn't know I was going to go through what I went through to get here, but it was all worth it. And you still think, listen, I got family that still sees the little boy, right? Listen, I'm 6'5", 225 right now, right? And they still think they're talking to the 4-year-old Marcus that was undersized and underweight and afraid to just be. I spent so much time alone because I got tired of people coming at me sideways, trying to project upon me their belief and their thought or what I was worth and what I was capable of, that I started to seclude myself. But God needed me to sit myself down in those quiet hours. Why? Because he whispers, he never shouts, and he put a word on my heart and a seed in my heart at a long time ago that took some time for me to water, for me to leave that done in the ground. I didn't need to dig it up prematurely. Why? Because it took this time for it to become this version of myself. And child, I'm only getting better. And I'm not perfect, and I never will be. So you can look for my flaws, you can look for my mistakes, catch them all day. I still get people who try to who proofread and audit my captions. Listen, if you're too busy caught on my inability, and listen, I have multiple degrees, so I know how to do APA format, and I know how to write a paper and a thesis and all that nonsense. But when I'm speaking from my heart, there is no articulation or punctuation. This is my life. And this is the light that I'm going to give. So if you're too busy trying to proofread and dissect the sentence, you might not be catching the message that could allow you to see a rooted toxic trait within you that needs to be dug up, healed, and put to rest. I already got people that I'm like, hey, this is really long. If I really needed to send it to them, I could send it to them. But I'm not in the space where I'm trying to walk on eggshells and I'm trying to appease people. I understand that, like, sometimes a misspelled word or a poor pronunciation listen, I'm so fired up right now. I can't even freaking think. Punctuation dilutes the message. I was like, it dilutes the message for the person it's not for. You can't say the right thing to the wrong person, and you cannot say the wrong thing to the right person, because the right people have their heart open, and they know that grace and humility allows you to receive much more than ego and stubbornness. So when we're in a fearful state, if you've ever come across somebody who's super egotistical, super stubborn, that's because they're afraid. They're afraid to be open. I'm super transparent with my journey. Listen, y'all, I'm sweating right now. I don't even sweat like that, but we in this thing. Super transparent with my journey. Super transparent with my mistakes. Why? Because the more I humble myself and I show transparency and I show that I'm just like everybody else, but I got a message on my heart to impact everyone else the same way it's impacting me, I get blessed because the right people show up and they go, hey, MJ, I got you on this. The person that I send my captions to, if I'm like, if it's not like submit, if it's like, let me read over it. All right, cool. That person I sent to, they reached out to me and they were like, bro, your messages are so fire. They have changed my life. If you ever need me to proofread it, I got you. You see how different that is than somebody who comes in your life. And I've had people who are like, you put the comma in the wrong place. You talking to me about a comma, and you're not recognizing that I just opened myself up in ways that most people, and let's be 100, most women are wondering why men refuse to open up. But you just decided to jump out of pocket and talk to me about a comma when I just shared with you an area of transparent growth about me as a man that I had to uncover. And you're wondering why men refuse. And so as conversation went on, this is what's wrong with men today. Baby, you don't understand that what's wrong with men today is a reflection of how you talk to them, because you're not a safe space as to which I could humbly present myself and be like, yo, maybe I need some help working on, because I haven't written a paper in 10 years, right? Like maybe this is a safe space where I could be like, yo, all right, well, you have my back. I could send this to you and you can proofread it, right? Because the men in your life are a reflection of your life, and the toxicity as to which you show up with will attract people that are in alignment with the garbage that you give to yourself. So if men ain't ish, it's because you look in the mirror and you don't see ish. You can't see gold and then settle for copper. Woman, I'm a diamond. You think I'm not willing to get cut? You think I'm not ready for the pressure? And you want to talk to me about a comma? Go ahead, boo. Do what you do. Sit back and observe, because you wonder why men refuse to open up to you. But if you're too busy attacking, all you do is force them to go on the defensive. Listen, we gonna be 100, y'all. And not everybody's ready for this conversation because, yo, listen, and again, my right doesn't mean you're wrong. Your right doesn't mean I'm wrong. We just sharing what's up. We sharing what's up. And I recognize, for my fellas out there, we have a lot of growing to do. There are a lot of little boy tendencies that are still dominating our life. And we wonder why the women in our life who were designed to multiply our lives, who were designed to be the foundation and the safe place, they don't get what they need because we can't be who we're supposed to be. We're still playing little boy games when it's time to man up. And I'm in a space, I'm being 100. I got a business surrounded by women. I have a life surrounded by women. I have a family built and surrounded by women. So guess what? I can't be the little boy that they got to take care of. I got to be the man that's going to protect that space so that they can multiply everything that God gives me to give them. My part of the process is real small. But it is our time and it is our season to lay the foundation, because when they feel safe, guess what happens? Everything around them grows. Everything. They were built to multiply. So if you give them frustration, guess what the hell they finna multiply? If you give them uncertainty, guess what they're going to multiply? If you are a pain in the ass, listen, I'll tell y'all straight up, I'm annoying as shit, right? Like, I'm playful, I'm annoying, right? Like, that is my immature, like, little thing. I love to be playful and joke around, right? But what I've learned is, when I'm around people that are in alignment, they multiply it. And we have fucking fun. Ooh. Facebook, I'm so sorry. Mom, if you're on here, I'm so sorry. I'm not playing basketball, so she didn't give me that free pass. But the reality is when you're in alignment and you're in your truth and you're surrounded by everything that you're supposed to do. But guess what? Every woman that is in my life, every single one, knows that they're safe when they're with me. You don't have to be afraid. You ain't got to worry about that. I'm not. You are protected in any sense of the word. Why? Because I know that if I protect you, everything within me is good. Because God's going to bless me through you. So fellas, it's time that we up level. And hey, gentlemen, and if you're that guy that's like, yo, I got this, yo, MJ, I don't need to, you ain't telling me nothing. Cool. Do you, homie? But there's somebody who's like, yo, I might be able to take this to the next level. And he's going to look up and be like, damn, I got better. And I don't need you to tag me, at me, holla at me like, yo, MJ, you know what I'm saying? That word you dropped on my life made things better. Listen, you don't even have to acknowledge that I did it because I didn't do it. I'm just trying to be a vessel because God put that on my heart for somebody else. We talking about toxicity and that just came. So do what you do, but do it as the best version of you. I'm so grateful for the caliber of men that are in my life as well. I'm grateful for the leadership and the men that I get to call brothers, right? Like, family isn't just blood. You can have your family by choice. And it could be, and listen, I got some fellas in my life that, like, we don't even have to talk on a regular basis. I got some fellas that I talk to yearly. And as soon as we chop it up, it's like we locked arms because I am my brother's keeper. But the old toxic me wasn't willing to trust the men around me. But when I looked at it, it was because I wasn't willing to trust myself, because I was still operating from a foundation of fear. I was still operating outside of my alignment. I was still appeasing and surrounding myself with people that fit the play that I was trying to put on. So I was casting roles, and I was looking for people that could play. Like, you could be this dude, you could be this dude, you could be this girl, you could be this, and you fit into my play. So now I could put on a mask and I could show up some type of way. But when you take the mask off and people see the real you, they be like, that's not what I thought I was going to get. So now I'm just operating from my truth. And what I realize is that the caliber and the character of the men around me are skyrocketing. And also there's some that I'm like, yo, come check and see what I'm doing. Listen, I'm not begging you to join me, man. I'm not begging you to join me. This is like a pride of lions. A pride of lions. The pride of lions is always really small. But the lionesses that surround it are deep. So just watch 2021 take off. We about to shut it down. And I'm also excited because I'm being set free every single day. The sweat that's coming off me right now isn't because I'm nervous, because I don't get nervous. I get excited. I get proud of the man that I'm becoming and the word that's on my heart. And the reason we go live now is because we need this to be saved, y'all. So if you catch this on the flip side, holla at me, leave a comment, let me know what's up. And listen, even if you disagree, as long as you disagree with respect, we can talk about anything. We don't have to be in alignment. But if you want to know more perspective, like, yo, MJ, I heard you said this, like, yo, talk to me about that. I'm here all day. But the one thing I'm not going to do, listen, somebody just tried to join live. Listen, you haven't learned yet, homie. Build your foundation. Don't try to join this live. This ain't open for you. This is what I do, and I live for it. So I love each and every one of y'all joining me on this incredible Turn Up Tuesday. Face the toxicity within you. Become the best version of you. And do not make any apologies for those who decide to judge you, because they're going to judge you anyway. My life philosophy, I'm about to get it put on a shirt. I don't feed the homeless. Now, don't take this the wrong way. I have set up charities and done the feed the homeless programs. But in my life, with my light, my mission is not to feed the homeless. I'm not here for people who are looking for a handout. Why? Because they always take to-go plates. But I'm going to feed the hungry. Yo, we finna eat. There is more than enough. Even in a pandemic, even in global and economic unrest, there are people eating, they are winning, they are building healthier relationships, greater parental relationships, incredible financial foundations. There are people buying homes and properties and land. There are people starting businesses and thriving. There are people matching and multiplying their full-time income with their part-time hustle. There are people who've turned their passion into a profit. There are people whose health got better. I got a lot of friends that got in shape during quarantine in 2020. I seen a lot of people, even though there was a lot of loss, there was a lot of life. Listen, there's quarantine babies popping up left and right. Why? Because it is a decision to win. And you make that decision every single day. And so I'm here to feed the hungry. So if you're ready to eat, let's get it. I hope you guys have an incredible Turn Up Tuesday. Thank you for taking the time to join us today. We're going to be here next week and every week, lighting it up. And if you rock with it, you rock with it. And if not, I rock with you, love you, but I'll love you from a distance. Let's go. I love y'all. Have an incredible Turn Up Tuesday. Yo!